YouTube, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to do a video, I just wanted to do a video, I guess, for a few different reasons. I work for a university, and so September is really the time where work starts to get busier again. And I feel like I was pretty lax about making videos this summer, so I wanted to update you on some things I've been wearing this summer. I just got back from a trip, and I took some perfumes that I really enjoyed. I got a gift of perfume samples from a friend on YouTube that I really wanted to share because I was excited about them. And I think I just realized in general that I have all these ambitions to make videos about specific subjects, like what I wore on my trip or what I've been sampling. And then one thing leads to another and the time gets away from me and I don't make that video. So I've also been listening to a lot of YouTubers lately who do just long, rambling, talking videos. In particular, I've been really enjoying some videos by Skin Sense for Fusspots, and she just talks ad nauseum. And even though I don't know most of the fragrances she talks about, I really enjoy listening to her. So I'm just going to try to do a catch-up video, and if you want to skip along, but I'm just going to go through most of the things I've been thinking about as it relates to perfume over the summer. So stick around. Okay, so first up, I'm being very careful not to dox anybody. I got this gift of lots and lots of perfume samples. Oh God. From my friend Kelly Lyons. She has a channel. I'll link to it. Thank you, Kelly. This is an amazing gift of samples. And the context here is I guess she's getting rid of a bunch of samples that she doesn't want or cluttering up her place, so I'm the beneficiary of that. So just to real quick take you through some of them are. There's these, I guess it's a discovery set from Andrea Maack, and let's see, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, at least 8 of these Andrea Maack samples here. I haven't smelled anything from this house, but they've been on my list to try for a while. I think Coven is the really popular one, but these samples are actually very, very cute. So I'm excited about those. Get those out of the way. There's also a little discovery box here from IDEO Parfumery, or Perfumers. I hadn't heard of these house at all, but I looked it up on Frederic real quick. I think it's a Beirut-based perfumery, which is cool. But I hadn't heard of any of their scents. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in here, and I think there's another one separately. So if anybody's heard of these and has a suggestion on where to start when I sample them, let me know. Oh, there's this Louis Vuitton sample. This is Spell on You. I hadn't heard of this one, but when I went online to look it up, I think it was like a rose iris violet scent. It sounded really nice, actually. I haven't been a big fan of any of the Louis Vuitton fragrances, but I'm excited to try that one, Spell on You. Here's another from IDEO. This is Space Rhapsody. This is an individually boxed 2 ml sample. Okay, then there's 10 from this brand. It's Manos Gerakinis. Gerakinis? I think he's Greek. Sorry, Manos. So 10 of them. This includes Anthem, Sillage Royale, Wild Tuberose, Omen, Quintessence, 7, spelled backwards, Pivon, or Peony, I guess, Meoexis, a Rose Poetique, and Immortelle. This one sounds really interesting, actually. I haven't tried a lot of Immortelle scents, so that'll be a nice one to have. Then 2 from Puente. This one is Eden. I don't know what that one's about, really. And this one is Iris Dew. And I'm excited to try. I actually already tried this one. It was beautiful, the Iris Dew. I'd heard about Puente a lot on Kelly's channel, and also I think Persolaise is a big fan of Puente perfumes. And definitely this Iris one smelled really good. Kind of like violety Iris classic retro with a slight tropical touch. I'm starting to notice that there's a lot of tropical irises, or at least I've tried a lot. What else is here? Santa Maria Novella. This is a carded sample of Magnolia. And another, this is Gelsomino. I think it's jasmine. And this is a nice one to have too. This is the new Hermes. It's barenia or barenia. I guess I could spray this on card real quick and see what it's like. It's a pretty big sample, actually. Where's the dang sprayer? And I've seen a couple of reviews on this already. Strangely, few people have gotten their noses on it, and I guess it's not a leather fragrance, even though barenia is a type of leather from Hermes. Yeah, it's pretty nondescript. I'm getting like a powdery, sheepery, fruity, kind of musty, classically woman's targeted fragrance. Smells kind of mature. Yeah, it's a little bit heavy. Not particularly my thing, but maybe it dries down to something better. The card is really beautiful though, and that's all that matters, right? Okay, and then what else should I talk about next? Well, first of all, thank you, Kelly, for these. These are awesome. Can't wait to try all of them. They'll go in the very long queue of samples that I have to smell. I guess that's a good segue into the next thing that I have here to talk about, which is I was recently on vacation in Mexico City, and I got this discovery set from a house called Xinu. It's Xinu. It's a perfume house from Mexico City. And I got this discovery set. It's a set of 5 4.5 ml droppers. And I'd heard about this brand a year or two ago, maybe even longer, because I had a friend who told me about it, a friend who goes to Mexico City quite frequently. Her name's Savannah. And she told me that this was her favorite perfume house, right when I was getting into perfume in a big way. And then I saw more and more people talk about it, and I was kind of skeptical of the brand because it's very expensive, and I don't know. I don't know why I was skeptical of it, but I went to the store when I was in Mexico City, and it's I don't know if it's a newer store, but it's in kind of like the downtown area as opposed to like the rich, classically rich part of Mexico City, I guess. And it's just the most beautiful store. It's like a secret garden and like a gazebo behind a nondescript office building. And I was there during a rainstorm and got to smell everything. And it was kind of crazy. It was packed with people, absolutely packed. Like they had a velvet rope where they could let people in or out because it would obviously get too crowded, I guess. And everybody was buying stuff because it's like the only big perfumery in Mexico City. Uh, anyway, but I was stuck there because there was a rainstorm and basically I wanted to stay out of the rain, so I bought this so I could loiter. But I got the chance to try a few of them out while I was there visiting, and I liked them a lot more than I thought I was going to. I haven't tried all of them on skin yet, but overall, I'd say that they are. I wouldn't say that any of them are really daring or innovative, but they all smell really nice. They all smell like kind of an elevated take on a designer profile. I'd say they are probably pretty similar to something like a Tom Ford line, where they smell refined and kind of elegant, but also a little bit mass pleasing. Um, I think another reason I was skeptical of these is because the perfumer on all of them is Rodrigo Flores Rue, who the brand touts as being the only, um, how do they phrase it? It's like the only IFF, Givaudan, from niche perfumer from Latin America. I think he's from Mexico. Don't quote me. Um, but I have really disliked a few of the things he's done. Especially, I had a discovery set from Tom Brown. Tom Brown had a set of six vetiver fragrances, and I hated all of them. Um, Mostly because they were all very um, like the synthetic materials used were very obvious and kind of grating. And strangely, there's a touch of that here where I can sense that the naturals that are used are just kind of sprinkled on top of a backbone of some pretty severe aroma chemicals. I can't really place my finger on which ones, but for some reason, these are more charming. And as I sampled each of them and put some of them on skin, I think I realized that the reason I might like them is because they're all sort of tropical, and so they suit the climate that I live in pretty well. So Mexico City and LA have fairly similar climates. Like Mexico City, it doesn't rain for like 8 months at a time. Um, Same thing in LA, but we get our rain in the winter, they get their rain in the summer. Um, and so there's kind of like a situational or like a atmospheric, what's the word I'm looking for? The use case for these is different because they're kind of like inspired by Mexico, and they talk a lot about sourcing Mexican ingredients and using, I don't know, Mexican or indigenous farmers. I don't really get a sense that there's like a ton of naturals here to justify the price. Um, but I do get the sense that they spent a lot of money on the packaging and the stores and the marketing. The fragrances themselves, so far, I really enjoyed this one. This is Copala, which is like a resinous. It's based on Copal, Copala resin, which is native to Mexico, I suppose. Um, it reminds me a little bit of um, another fragrance I own, which is Cardinal by Healy, which is like a straight incense perfume. But this one is somehow, I don't know, it's got like a more mm, green, maybe. There's like a lot of pink pepper. It just somehow feels more like a warm climate incense, if that makes sense. I really enjoyed wearing it. It's pink pepper, Kapahu balsam, vanilla, and something else. I also really like this one, which was Umo, which is a tobacco fragrance. Same deal, like a slightly boozy tobacco that works well in a warm climate. They also all have like a lot of pink pepper to my nose in the top. That's kind of like the signature, it feels like. There's another one here, Oronardo, which is a tuberose that's very nice. And Monstera is also like a very interesting green perfume. Not my favorite from the set, but probably the most interesting, if that makes sense. Uh, yeah, so it was an unplanned purchase, and initially I was like, oh, am I going to regret this? But really enjoying this discovery set from Xinu. That's the name. Okay, next, I guess I'll talk about the other perfumes that I took to Mexico City. Um, I This is kind of killing two birds with one stone, but I recently bought this, which is Jasmine 17, um, which is just a really super lovely, happy, kind of innocent jasmine fragrance. Not a lot of complexity, but it has a really strong, sunny citrusy orange blossom kind of smell, which I think is to do with this Litsea cubeba note, which is here. I read a little bit about Litsea cubeba, and it's like apparently a flower that's from like a tree in Asia, but it's often used to extend lemon and orange notes. And this is definitely, yeah, like a super fruity, citrusy, fresh jasmine. It also is kind of green. It has some tea elements. Um, it's a little tiny bit milky, like milk tea. It's just really good, and it worked really well in Mexico City. I will admit that I had some trouble with altitude sickness in Mexico City, and so um, I felt like I was having trouble smelling things very well there. But apparently, also your sense of smell is lessened at higher altitudes because there's like less air pressure, I guess, and so like maybe the molecules aren't as concentrated. And I did notice that in Mexico City, the food was very salty. Like they put in a lot of salt into food, and they also put a lot of sugar into sweet things. And I read that like your sense of taste is also diminished at higher altitudes, so maybe there's something to that. All that being said, this is just like a great fragrance to be wearing, running around the city during the day. We had perfect weather while we were there. I think it was like 75 degrees every day. Um, yeah, just a happy, beautiful, simple fragrance. I think I also realized to a certain extent that I wouldn't say that I'm mostly attracted to feminine fragrances, and this isn't overwhelmingly feminine. It's not like super sweet or candy-like or frothy. It has some heft to it, but there is something that I like about the softness of florals and the kind of like easygoing um, nature of floral fragrances. It's hard to describe, but I definitely am more drawn to something like a Jasmine 17 over any number of masculine releases. Um, I think a masculine release really has to like work uphill for me to like it. So I'm really happy to have picked this one up. Yeah, I guess in late July. I'm happy to have it in the collection. Another fragrance that I took to Mexico City was this one, Oud and Rose by Cartier. I've talked about this before, but this is a rose sheep built on oud, and it's very skanky, very challenging. Animalic is all get out, a little civety, dirty, patchouli. This is like, it's rough, but it's really good. And I took it to Mexico City because I realized I don't wear it that much because it's kind of challenging to wear. I can't wear it to the office. It's very nighttimey, but it was so perfect there because I was there with a friend. We went out at night. We went to dinners at fancy restaurants, and I wore this. Um, and it was just perfect. It smells so good. The other thing I realized about it is that you can't wear more than like, I wear 2 sprays on the arms, and that's it. If you spray too much, it becomes like this horrible, not horrible, but just like it becomes way too intense. Um, so yeah, I'm really glad I took this on the trip. And then when I was coming home on the airplane, I was wearing a jacket that I'd worn to dinner one night, and I smelled this on it, and the whole trip home, I was just like engulfed in the afterglow of Oud and Rose, and it was wonderful. So super happy about that one. Another one that I took and wore, I think only just once, was this old stalwart for me. It's Versace's Blonde. Took it because it's tuberose and I was going to Mexico. Don't understand my thought process myself, but Um, just a really seductive, beautiful, rich tuberose. I'm going to talk about it more later because it reminds me of another fragrance that I've tested recently. Um, but in general, this is just one of my top 5 ever perfumes. The last 2 things I took to Mexico City were 2 decants. And this first one is, can you see that? It's Bamboo Harmony by Kilian. And I love this fragrance. And I had always been extremely skeptical of Kilian. I have smelled them a bunch of times in department stores when I walk by, and never had any of them catch my attention. But I'd only really tried um, the big hyped up releases like Straight to Heaven, or what are the other ones? Like Apple Brandy, like all of the liquor based ones were the ones I would have sprayed. But then for shits and giggles, I got this set of 8 Kilian decants, um, which this was a part of. It's like this. And I think normally it comes with like a travel spray protector, but I got it on a discount. It didn't come with that. So for these 8 10 mil samples, I think I paid like $80. It was a great deal. Anyway, but trying them, I realized that you have to give everything a shot because I really liked several of them. Um, well, I'll go back. So, Bamboo Harmony is like a tea scent, but it's just super duper refreshing. It's like fresh water, like green leaves, tea. Um, it smells like cooling in a way, but it's not mentholated. And when you spray it on, you just feel so fresh. It's also got like a nice sweetness about it. And when I was a teenager and through part of college, I worked at Panera Bread. And this is going to be like a very niche um, scent memory, but they serve this very sweet green iced tea at Panera, which I would get for free because I worked there. Um, and this smells like a really elegant, wearable version of that. I've worn it to the gym. Um, I mean, I'm somebody who has a ton of fragrances. I've had this for less than a month, and I've gone through, I don't know, more than half of this decant. Uh, I may have to get a bottle. The bottles are also really cute for this one. They're like blue. Anyway, just a lesson to give things a try. And also to Mexico, I took this one, which is Moonlight in Heaven. I forget the notes, but it has like tropical notes, maybe like tuberose, ylang, and then like a bunch of green notes. There's a big vetiver note, which makes it kind of dusty. It's really interesting. I didn't wear it as much as I thought I would in Mexico. I took it because it's kind of like an elegant tropical fragrance, but it's also got oak moss. It's really interesting. This one and Bamboo Harmony are both by Khalees Becker, and I enjoyed them a lot. Let's see. I also was really surprised by this one, which is Love Don't Be Shy, which is the one that's super, super famous and Rihanna wears it or whatever. And look at the color of that. I think it's naturally that orange color. Um, so I think I was wrong about this fragrance. I thought it was like a jasmine marshmallow fragrance, but it's actually an orange blossom marshmallow fragrance. And it's super sweet, but it also is super skanky, like super skanky. Like it smells kind of like a hooker, and like it smells sweaty, and There's like a listed civet note. Um, and it definitely smells like orange blossom, marshmallow, and civet. And it's so much more interesting than I would have thought, just given how many like hype beast YouTubers talk about it, and how popular it is. Because I find it somewhat challenging. It's very sultry. Um, and I wore it on, I go for a walk every morning to go get my coffee in my neighborhood. It's like a half a mile round trip. So I wore it one morning to go get my coffee, and nobody complimented me, but I got the sense that like people kept like looking around, like, who smells like that? Who smells good? Um, so it's a head turner. It's very unique. Yeah, so I've enjoyed. I haven't gone through this whole set yet. Um, I will say I did not enjoy Good Girl Gone Bad. That was like a milky, heavy, white floral fragrance with osmanthus, but I didn't get a lot of the osmanthus. And I have not really tried on this side are all of the like dark ones. It's Intoxicated, Straight to Heaven, Black Phantom, and Rolling in Love. Um, so I still have more to try from that, but this was a very good buy. Happy to have this. Ugh, so much to talk about. I guess I'll go through some of the other buys that I've made recently. We'll get the Labo stuff out of the way, since, you know, it wouldn't be my channel if we didn't have some of the Labos. Aside from the Jasmine 17, which I also bought this summer, I got this, which is an unlabeled bottle of Tabac 28. This is one of the city exclusives for Miami. I love this. It's so interesting, clean. I hardly get tobacco from it. It's almost like a gaiac wood, rum. I get a lot of the rum, cardamom, and like addictive white musks. Usually I feel like the Labo musks are more salty and broxiny. This is more like clean, um, laundry-esque. I think this is a Frank Vocal creation. Just super good. This was a 50 ml, and I somewhat impulsively bought it. I had sampled it last winter. I really liked it. So it wasn't a blind buy, but I bought this 50 ml bottle for like $300, which is a significant discount over buying it in store. Just ridiculous, but still very happy to have it. At some point, I also bought this, which is Rose 31. I talked about this in my last video. I got this, I guess, also in July, and just had to have it. I love it. It's addictive, sexy, dirty, rosy, incensey, vetivery. It's so good. It's a classic. It's by Daphne Bouguet, and I just got the little bottle. I'm pretty sure that was a good choice. And the third and final, I don't think I've talked about this yet, but I got this little bottle of Gaiac 10. This is a 15 ml as well. It's again one of these unlabeled ones. Got a good discount on this. I think I paid like $100. Weirdly, I'd wanted this one for a long time, but now that I have it, I don't know how much I love it. It's good. It's very simple. It's a beautiful fragrance. It's very unique. It's one of those things that's like, it's so simple, and yet the fragrances that try to copy this don't really come close. It's very unique. And now smelling it again, I'm like, oh, it is really good. I don't know. I guess it's probably a price matter. Like, there's no part of me that feels like this is worth, or like this, the full bottle would be worth $500. Like, that's ridiculous. And it is, I think the thing that I've noticed since I've been wearing it more is it's more chemically or aroma chemically, like the ISOE super in it kind of bothers me a little bit. It's a little bit nose scratchy. Probably because it's such a simple formula. I mean, if there's really only 10 things in here, um, it's basically just gaiac and some aroma chemicals. So just I'm glad I have it because I'll certainly want to come back to it and wear it. It's like a good work fragrance or like airplane fragrance. But anyway, let's see. This is a bottle I bought recently of Ce Soir ou Jamais by Goutal. And I just love this bottle. It's so cute. The little ribbon and these like tall neck sprayers. This is a rose and ambrette fragrance. Absolutely gorgeous. I've had a million decants of it. Super unusual, boozy, girly, romantic. There's something about Goutals that are just like so, that just like make my heart melt. And another perfume reviewer who I've been watching lately, Wendy from Wendy's Parade of Perfumes, she did a really good video about Goutal perfumes recently. I'll try to put that in the description box if I remember. But um, this is also like a vintage bottle. I don't know if it matters. And it was super cheap. So just thrilled about this one. And then I got a decant. Well, I made this decant from some samples that I bought of Goutal's Les Nuits d'Adrien, which is like a flanker of the most popular fragrance from Goutal, which is Eau d'Adrien. And I'm going to spray some of this on. This is a really beautiful citrus oriental. I think the main accords are like cypress and orange, lemon. There's a little tiny, very tasteful ylang note with a sweet-ish patchouli, vetiver, moss, amber base. It's beautiful. It's like, it's again this like, every time I put on a Goutal perfume, they like tell a story. This one makes me feel like I'm like in Italy, like with a very handsome boy in a graveyard at night stealing something. Um, that's the weirdest story, but that's how I feel. I don't know. Try this if you get a chance. It's Les Nuits d'Adrien. This one I got a long time ago, but I guess I just never talked about it. I don't think I ever talked about it. Cartier's Declaration Cologne. Beautiful. I don't even recall what's in it. Bergamot, lemon, ginger. It's like a very classic men's sport fragrance. Super fresh. Irresistible. I had like a full decant, like this size decant, and I ran through it. Just perfect. Makes me want to go to the gym, which is a good thing. Love it. Also kind of similar to Pure Quinconce by Cartier, which is a later Mathilde Laurent creation. This one has only a passing resemblance to the original Declaration. There's a little bit of that like cumin spice here. I didn't really like the original Declaration when I tried it, but then I went through so much of this, and when I went back to the Declaration EDT, I started to like that one more. after going through the flanker. I might have to get the real full bottle of this, but I haven't worn this in a couple months now, so we'll see. What I have won from Cartier is this bad boy, which I'm obsessed with. This is Eau de Cartier Zeste Soleil, a discontinued flanker of the discontinued Eau de Cartier. This is a 200 ml bottle, which it's not going to translate on camera, but it's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. It's super heavy. This like base is super thick, and I think the story with Eau de Cartier, the bottles are supposed to have like a drop design in the bottom, and so it's like actually it's a very pretty bottle. It doesn't translate on film, but this fragrance is mint and citron and passion fruit, I think. It's just the most incredible, like, eau de cologne ever. It's like super refreshing, like a tropical drink, but not sweet. It's very hard to describe how much I love this perfume, and it's the perfect thing for like a super duper hot day. It's like 100 degrees in Los Angeles today. This is what to wear. It doesn't last very long, but it projects really nicely for like the first hour. And it feels like super great getting out of the shower and putting it on, going to run an errand. And then by the time you get home, it's just kind of like this very soft skin scent of fruits and citrus, white musk, in the most inoffensive, calming way. I got a really great deal on this, like 80 bucks maybe. And I love it. One of the happiest fragrances I own. This is the last full bottle, I think. No, another one. I bought this long ass time ago. This is Oud Radieux by Cartier. This was also $80. Super steal. Probably my least favorite of the Oud Cartier full bottles that I own. But still very beautiful. It's like a very fresh chopped ginger plus oud. Very clean, a little bit masculine, I think is probably my problem with it. But smelling it now, it smells absolutely fantastic. It's very much like a summer oud. There's like a Sichuan pepper note here as well, so it's a little bit like piquant. It's very interesting. I've only worn it a few times, but I do like it. Probably need to wear it more, but I bought that since the last video, so including it here. And this is the last full bottle. This is a cheapie. I got Salty by Lush. I got really curious about some of the body sprays by Lush, and I bought this one. It's really interesting. They list not only the notes, but in the ingredients, they list oud oil, oak moss extract, oak moss absolute, neroli oil. This is 200 ml, and has some like very highfalutin ingredients in it, and the whole bottle was like $45, and that's like way more expensive than the other Lush body sprays. And it smells really, really super high quality. It's interesting, on skin it smells like an oud rose perfume, but then kind of like in the air it smells like what it says. It's like a salty marine beach accord, like a sea breeze accord. I'm very happy about it, but I've only tried it once, and the one day that I wore it, I started having some like really weird sinus issues. So I'm kind of like, was it this or was it something else? Um, I have to go back and try it, but on a day that I feel like very, very healthy. um, so that's Salty by Lush. I have a few other things here. What can I go through quickly? Uh, this is J'adore, a sample that I wore. I'd smelled it before. I actually have a coworker who wears it. But yeah, I actually really love this. This is the original J'adore EDP. Fresh, fruity, jasmine, a little bit like melon or cologne kind of smell. Does smell a little bit dated, but like in a charming way, like a Y2K kind of way, like something that Gen Z might like. Um, in fact, after I wore this sample a couple of days, I was like really thinking about getting a bottle of J'adore, which I absolutely don't need, but I like it. I also have this sample of Miss Dior by Dior. This is the Blooming Bouquet, whatever iteration of that they're on. Completely forgettable and uninteresting. This I got a long time ago too, probably never talked about it. It's Narciso Rodriguez for him, Vetiver Musk. Lovely, 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 like a dry, flat, dusty, soft vetiver with a little bit of a sea breeze accord or like ocean water in like a weird, like brackish, not attractive way, but I really liked it. It is on discounters. I should pick up a bottle before it disappears. This was only released like a year ago, but their distribution at Narciso Rodriguez was so ridiculously spotty and nonsensical. I should probably pick this up, but I have quite a few vetivers already, and I love vetiver, but I find I don't reach for my vetivers all that frequently because the magic of vetiver fragrances is always in the dry down, and so it's never like you have to like really anticipate the payoff that you're going to get from it 4 hours from when you spray it on. So I don't know. I should just bite the bullet and buy it, but we'll see. Oh, look, another one of these guys. This is the Mexico City exclusive for the Labo, Coriandre 39. It's fine. I don't think it's particularly all that great. It's certainly not worth $500. It's like a super fresh gin and tonic, very aldehydic, limey. I may be crazy or making this up, but I think that there is an immortelle note here that is interesting, but I don't like a syrupy, hay-like, sort of boozy, warm, cinnamony thing that I didn't notice the first time, but then every time I tried the sample, there was something in the background that I was like, what is that weird note? I think it's immortelle. Yeah, I'm a Labo stan, but this one just wasn't for me. But it's nice. It's nice. God, so much. This is a discovery set from Frederic Malle. Here's all the fragrances that it contains. I got this used. I feel like Frederic Malle also has really weird, spotty distribution. The discovery sets are never available. They don't make this one anymore with 12 cents. You can only get a 6 cent one, and the 6 cent one is it's the masculine discovery set or the feminine discovery set, which I find really weird for a niche house to be dividing things into masculine and feminine. But I'm enjoying trying this set. What have I tried so far? Vetiver Extraordinaire, again, nice. Kind of also reminiscent of Declaration by Cartier. As is this one, which is actually my scent of the evening. It's Bigarade Concentré. I'm really into cumin as a note, which is one of the notes in Bigarade Concentré. But I'm noticing the more cumin fragrances that I tried, they start to smell very much the same. It's just like maybe a note that overpowers a lot of things. I also tried Iris Poudre, which was a very nice iris. Probably not something I need. And Carnal Flower, which is the fragrance I was saying smells a lot like Versace's Blonde. I'd smelled it before, Carnal Flower. It's interesting. It's just one of those fragrances that I like it, but it doesn't bowl me over. And it's also hard for me to get away from the associations that I have with other tuberose fragrances, because to me, Carnal Flower smelled like Blonde by Versace mixed with Dusson by Diptyque. So I have many more of these to go through. I would like to do a video on this set. We'll see. And finally, this actually came from my gift from Kelly. This is a discovery set for Neela Vermeire. This box is really beautiful, you can't tell, but this one contains, let's see, Treillis, Muller, Bombay Bling, Ashoka, Piccola, and Rahel. I've so far only tried Bombay Bling, which was better than I expected, I want to say. Like a tropical fragrance, but very refined. Like it smelled to me very expensive. Hard to describe. Woodier than I thought, for sure. Anyway, this will have been an extremely long, rambling video. I hope that there was something that caught your eye that you were able to listen to for a minute. Hopefully I'll make some more videos this fall, but I hope you're doing well and enjoying your perfumes. See you next time.